Welcome back, race fans, to Season 2 of the Yahoo Cup Series. Race 5 will be taking place at the same track as Race 4, but this time on the oval configuration. The Charlotte Oval has many lines you can run all the way from the bottom to the top, however the outside may be the preferred line here at the end of the race. The drivers will have to time their moves and use the draft to be able to make successful passes here today. And with all that said and done, let's check out our ones to watch. William Byron and Brad Keselowski have had a very strong start to the season so far. They are both top 5 end points and starting up front here today. Bubba Wallace has had a very mediocre start to the start of this year. However, he has had improvement from last season. He starts up front here today. And Eli Z was able to claim the 29 for this week's race. And don't forget to leave a comment so you can have a chance to race the 29. Now let's get down to the pits and get the command.
Please join me as Jeff, Jared, and Bobby say those 4 most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
As the drivers begin to roll off here, let's get our starting lineup. In row 1, we have William Byron and Kevin Harvick. Row 2 is Brad Keselowski and Denny Hamlin. Row 3 will be Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott, with row 4 having Bubba Wallace and Ryan Blaney. Rounding out the top 10 is Christopher Bell and Ricky Stenhouse, and then following them in row 6 is Chris Buescher and Kyle Larson. Row 7 is Harrison Burton and Ross Chastain, with row 8 having Tyler Reddick and a new Jordan Brand car and Justin Haley. Row 9 is Eli Z and Joey Logano, and rounding out the top 20 is Joe Gibbs' teammates Brian Truex and Ty Gibbs. Row 11 is a couple of Fords, Chase Briscoe and Austin Cindric. Row 12 will be Store-Haas teammates Ryan Preece, Eric Almirola. Row 13 is Daniel Suarez, Corey LaJoie, and then row 14 is Eric Jones and AJ Allmendinger. Row 15 is Carson Hocevar and Todd Gilliland, with row 16 being Michael McDowell and Alex Bowman. Row 17 will be Ty Dillon and Austin Dillon brothers. Row 18 is BJ McLeod and JJ Yaley. Then rounding out the field is Jimmy Johnson. Race overview for today. We are at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is a 1.5 mile quad oval. Stage end at lap 5. This is a 10-lap race. And don't forget to leave a comment so you can race the 29 at Talladega. Now here's your field ready to take the green flag here for the Coke 600. And green flag is in the air. William Byron and Kevin Harvick will lead them into turn 1, with Brad Keselowski and Denny Hamlin following them behind. Hamlin already trying to make an early 3-wide move, but Kyle Busch doing the same thing underneath them. William Byron dives it into 1 and 2. He's going to be able to clear Harvick off the corner. Brad Keselowski stuck 3-wide middle. He's dropping back. Denny Hamlin, big run. He's going to be able to get to second side by side with Harvick going into 3. 3 wide around top 5 with Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch. Brad Keselowski dropping fast. William Byron clear for the lead and will come off of the corner and will likely lead lap 1 as he does. As Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick still side by side. Chase Elliott clears for 4th now, as Ryan Blaney's going to make it 3 wide on the outside of Brad Keselowski and Kyle Busch, as Brad Keselowski continues to drop back since the start of the race. William Byron continues to lead. Hamlin and Harvick still side by side, but Hamlin's going to get a run again. Kyle Busch now gets side by side with Elliott. So we saw Brad Keselowski get a little bit of contact with Bubba as they're 3 wide. Blaney clears them. As Harvick going to try and dive it in, maybe get clear of Hamlin, but it's not going to be enough. Hamlin's going to have a good run. Ryan Blaney up there. Chris Buescher already flirting with the top 5. As Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch split Harvick 3 wide, as Harvick's now dropping back as well. Chase Elliott clear for 3rd. He's looking to set his sights on Hamlin for 2nd. There's 3 wide for 4th now, as Kyle Busch dives in, and he's going to be able to clear Harvick and Blaney 3 wide, as Ryan Blaney has moved into the top 5. As he's side by side for 4th now, Kyle Busch. As Chase Elliott makes some moves to the inside for Denny Hamlin for 2nd. Here, as William Byron still continues to lead in dominating fashion. He is our points leader, to remind you guys. As Blaney and Busch are side by side for 5th, as Kyle Busch is cleared for 4th. He's going to get to the outside of Elliott for 3rd now, as Denny Hamlin's going to take the outside right up against the wall now, trying to set up to make a move on Byron for the lead possibly. As now Kyle Busch on the outside of Elliott. Blaney and Busch are still side by side for 5th. Harvick and Brad have dropped like rocks, as Hamlin to the inside for the lead now. William Byron might lose the lead for the first time in this race, as Hamlin is currently in the lead, but Byron will have to run. Elliott dives it in. Kyle Busch got dirty air and gets tight. Kyle Larson gets really loose, almost spins out, but saves it. As Elliott tries to make it 3 wide, gets the door shut on him by Denny Hamlin. As Kyle Busch still barely on Elliott's outside, as Christopher Bell now 3 wide for 5th with Buescher and Blaney, but Buescher dives it in. He's going to clear on the inside. Hamlin's still side by side with Byron for the lead, but Elliott gets turned and collects Hamlin and Byron. Massive crash between the leaders. That's a huge detriment to William Byron's points leaders. Here's a replay. Looks like Elliott may have had a bit of contact with Kyle Busch, turning him into Hamlin, which Hamlin got turned into Byron. And Elliott looks like he saves it. Byron, massive impact into the outside wall. Hopefully he is okay. likely not going to be able to continue, though, as here's one more replay of the impact. Big hit there, as everyone manages to somehow avoid them, as Denny Hamlin will be able to continue with only minor damage. William Byron is out of the race, our points leader and pole sitter, and here's a lot of people who came to pit road. Chase Elliott led them in with damage, but Martin Truex will lead the race off pit road with Kyle Larson, as Elliott drops back due to needing a little bit of repairs. As here's the pit road exit, as Martin Truex and Kyle Larson gain spots, Blaney and Elliott lose some. Eli Z gains a ton of positions, and there's the rest of the field, as Justin Haley remains in his position. Brad drops back as he needed some repairs. As our stage results, at the time of caution, William Byron was still in the lead, and it's Hamlin, Elliott, Buescher, and Busch. However, Byron is out of the race, and Denny Hamlin is at the rear. As green flag is back in the air, Buescher already clears his bell, makes an aggressive 3-wide move. As, ton of moves being made as Truex sent it in, gaining a ton of position, but he washes up. They're 4 wide going down the back. As the chaos here, as they're 4x4 at Charlotte, as Chris Buescher still leads. Truex and Elliott dive in, but they wash up the track here, as Buescher is still in the lead. As, Truex is in the wall. He hits the tire down. As, they avoid. Massive crash. The big one at the Coke 600, as the field has to stop to avoid hitting the rest of the cars, as lots of front runners here who came to pit road, and a mix of people who stayed out. As we have a red flag as the track is blocked. Here's a replay. I think after Truex hit the wall from getting pinned against it with Chase Elliott, he blew a tire and Harrison Burton had to avoid. And Michael McDowell on top of Larson. Tyler Reddick got put up in the air after big impact with Harrison Burton. As one more replay, Michael McDowell almost vaulted over Larson. As Suarez had a big hit as well on the inside wall. A lot of people who pit are out of this race now. Suarez, Reddick, Larson, McDowell. As here's everyone who pit. Ty Gibbs leads him in this time. He will lead him off as well. Eli Z came to pit road again. As here's the pit road exit. Ty Gibbs won the race off pit road. A lot of people moving up. Blaney loses more positions as he had some contact during that wreck. And Todd Gilliland loses some positions as well. As Martin Truex will unfortunately not be able to continue due to all the damage he had in that wreck. But Chris Buescher maintains the lead, and Kyle Busch is still on the front row as well. As he's able to get in for the bells. Green flag is back in the air here again. As Kyle Busch edges out Chris Buescher. And there's already another wreck. Another big wreck here, taking out more cars. As this is a 5-car collision. It looks like, BJ McLeod and JJ Yaley also crashed in the back. I think trying to avoid it. So here's a replay. I think Jimmy Johnson just tried to make a move, but didn't get all the way to the inside of Ty Dillon. And just unfortunately causes another wreck. Chase Briscoe on top of Ty Gibbs. We've had multiple cars on top of other cars here today. As Justin Haley, just trying to avoid the wreck, spins out and clobbers the inside wall. And just unfortunate circumstances for all these guys. As now here's all the people out of the race. A ton of crashed cars here at the Coke 600. As here's all these people. Some of the people in the front have to pit because they're not going to make it to the end. As it was Chris Buescher, Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch, and Ricky Stenhouse who were all trying to stay out for the rest of the race but couldn't because they would not make it to the end due to all the cautions. But Ross Chastain and Joey Logano are willing to take that risk and stay out here as Ross Chastain has the lead and chooses the outside. It's green flag is back in the air. It's a green-white checker here. 2 laps remaining. As Eric Jones gives Ross Chastain a huge push. Where did Eric Jones come from as well? As Chase Elliott dives it in, the Ross Chastain on those old tires is not going to be able to hold him off as they're 3 wide now. 2x2. Eric Jones is in the lead as he has to run down the back passing Chase Elliott. But Chase Elliott's going to dive it in. Kevin Harvick now back up here. He has a chance at the win after falling back at the beginning of the race. So it's chaos around the track, all trying to fiddle around for positions. As Eric Jones will lead him to the white flag. White flag is in the air. 1 more lap around as they are still 3 wide for the lead between Jones, Elliott, and Harvick. As Harvick dives it in, Elliott seems to get a little tight there, not going to be able to hold it. As he gets loose, almost hits Eric Jones, but he saves it. Eric Jones and Kevin Harvick side by side at the back. Eric Jones has the advantage due to the run, but Harvick's going to side draft. Here comes Blaney and Buescher. Buescher trying to come back, but not going to have enough time. As Harvick washes up the track, contact with Jones. Jones in the wall, but he stays in the gas. Eric Almirola up the third. What can he do? Sneaks to the inside, but Eric Jones is going to be able to hold him off and win the Coke 600 here. Crazy, crazy Coke 600 as Eric Jones, who we saw started far in the back, but just played a good race and was able to get to the front. As we saw Joey Logano could not finish the race as he ran out of gas, and Chastain, I believe, was running out of gas as he crossed the start-finish line. As here's your finisher results, Eric Jones has an upset victory here at the Coke 600, with Kevin Harvick finally having a good finish since the Daytona 500 win. Eric Almirola, his teammate, has a good race as well. Elliott 4th. Eli Z, the 29 fan car, gets a good top 5. That car has been really fast all season. Chris Buescher, Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch, all are able to rebound for top 10s after having to come back from the rear. As here's pretty much everyone who just didn't finish the race, as Joey Logano ran out of gas and everyone behind him crashed out, as we had a ton of crashed cars. A lot of money for these teams was spent on this race here today. This was somehow more chaotic than the Daytona 500. As let's look at the point standings now, as Chris Buescher is now your points leader after having a good stage finish and a good finish. As Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott as well, Christopher Bell up there, as William Byron drops back to 5th even after winning the stage and leading a lap. As Brad Keselowski as well, same for him, falling back and struggling all race, is now 11th in the point standings. Kevin Harvick back up to 12th. Eric Almirola, Denny Hamlin have stayed right there pretty much most of the season. As Ryan Blaney has a good finish, he moves up to the point standings. He's trying to rebound us. We have a lot of championship winning cars here. Martin Truex, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, all in the back after just being very unlucky at the start of the season. And here's the rest of the point standings with Chase Briscoe, Austin Cindric just struggling at the start of the season. But stay tuned. In a couple weeks, we'll be at Talladega